Hello everyone, welcome to our weekly cybersecurity news roundup. In this video, we'll be discussing the latest updates on the biggest cybersecurity incidents, data breaches, and emerging threats from the past week. From ransomware attacks to vulnerability disclosures, we've got you covered with all the important news and analysis you need to stay informed and protected. So sit back and let's dive into the world of cybersecurity. Fake ChatGPT Chrome browser extension caught hijacking Facebook accounts. Google has removed a fake Chrome browser extension that pretended to be an OpenAI's ChatGPT service, but was in fact a Trojanized version designed to harvest Facebook session cookies and hijack user accounts. The malicious extension, called ChatGPT for Google, attracted over 9,000 installations since March 14, 2023. Before it was taken down. It was uploaded to the Chrome Web Store on February 14, 2023. Gorgio Labs researcher Nati Tal discovered that the extension was spread through malicious sponsored Google search results designed to redirect unsuspecting users searching for ChatGPT 4 to fraudulent landing pages that pointed to the fake add-on. Once installed, the extension would add promised functionality, enhance search engines with ChatGPT, but it would also stealthily capture Facebook-related cookies and send them to a remote server in an encrypted manner. With possession of the victim's cookies, the threat actor would take control of the Facebook account, change the password, alter the profile name and picture, and even use it to disseminate extremist propaganda. This is the second fake ChatGPT Chrome browser extension to be discovered in the wild. The other extension, which also functioned as Facebook account stealer, was distributed through sponsored posts on social media platforms. This discovery is yet another example that cybercriminals can quickly adapt their campaigns to take advantage of the popularity of ChatGPT to distribute malware and carry out opportunistic attacks. Threat actors have endless possibilities, including the victim's profile as a bot for comments, like, and other promotional activities, creating pages and advertising accounts using their reputation and identity, while promoting both legitimate and non-legitimate services. Remember to be cautious when installing extension and to download only those from trusted sources. To add on to the news about ChatGPT, we have OpenAI reveals Redis bug behind ChatGPT user data exposure incident. OpenAI disclosed a bug in the Redis open source library that led to the exposure of personal information and chat titles in the ChatGPT service. The bug enabled certain users to view brief description of other users' conversation from the chat history sidebar, prompting the company to temporarily shut down the chatbot. The bug originated in Redis Python library and caused cancelled requests to return unexpected data from the database cache, information belonging to an unrelated user. OpenAI has since fixed the problem and reached out to the affected users to notify them of the inadvertent leak. In addition to this issue, OpenAI also addressed a critical account takeover vulnerability that could be exploited to seize control of another user's account, view their chat history, and access billing information without their knowledge. This flaw was discovered by security researcher Gal Negley, who created a specially crafted link to append a .css resource to the ChatGPT session endpoint, tricking a victim to click on the link and causing the response to be cached in Cloudflare's CDN. The attacker could then harvest the target's JSON Web Token credential and take over the account. OpenAI fixed this issue within 2 hours of responsible disclosure. These incidents serve as a reminder of the importance of software security and the need for companies to promptly address any vulnerabilities to protect user data. New shell-bot DDoS malware variants targeting poorly managed Linux servers. Linux servers are under attack. A new campaign has been launched that targets poorly managed SSH servers, with the aim of deploying a dangerous malware called Shellbot. Shellbot is a type of DDoS bot malware that's developed in Perl and uses IRC protocol to communicate with a remote server. Once installed on a vulnerable server, it can be used to carry out DDoS attacks and steal sensitive information. The malware is installed on servers that have weak credentials, but first, the attacker uses scanner malware to identify systems that have SSH port open. They then use a list of known SSH credentials to initiate a dictionary attack to breach the server and deploy the payload. There are 3 different versions of Shellbot that have been identified so far. And the first 2 variants offer a variety of DDoS attack commands, while the third version comes with more backdoor-like capabilities. Shellbot is a serious threat. It can be used to launch DDoS attack against specific targets and can also be used to install additional malware or launch different types of attacks from the compromised server. Nexus, a new rising Android banking Trojan targeting 450 financial apps. Nexus is a subscription-based Trojan that targets financial applications and cryptocurrency services. It's been used by several threat actors to conduct fraud and perform account takeover attacks, which involves stealing users' credentials and intercepting SMS messages. The malware contains a ransomware module that appears to be under active development, and it's capable of removing received SMS messages and updating itself periodically by pinging a command and control server. What's interesting about Nexus is that it overlaps with other banking Trojan dubbed SOVA, reusing parts of its source code. It was initially classified as a new variant of SOVA in August 2022 by security firm Cliffy. The malware has been used in real-world attacks as early as June 2022, at least 6 months before its official announcement on darknet portals. Most of the infections have been reported in Turkey, and the malware authors have laid out explicit rules that prohibit its use in several countries, including Russia, Ukraine, and Indonesia. The emergence of Nexus highlights the threat posed by malware as a service, which allows criminals to monetize their malware more efficiently by providing a ready-made infrastructure to their customers, who can then use the malware to attack their targets. WordPress force patching WooCommerce plugin with 500k installs. If you are one of the many website owners who uses the WooCommerce payments plugin for your online store, you may want to pay attention to this news. Automattic, the company behind the popular WordPress content management system, has recently forced install a security update on hundreds of thousands of websites that use the WooCommerce payments plugin. This update addresses a critical vulnerability that can allow unauthenticated attackers to gain admin access to vulnerable stores. The vulnerability was reported by Michael of Gold Network, and it affects WooCommerce payment version 4.8.0 and higher. According to WordFence, unauthenticated attackers can exploit the bug to impersonate an administrator and completely take over a website without any user interaction or social engineering required. PatchStack warns that this vulnerability requires no authentication, making it very likely that it will be mass exploited very soon. The WooCommerce team has already patched the vulnerability in security updates issued earlier today, and they haven't found any evidence that the bug has been exploited in the wild. The update is already rolling out to vulnerable WooCommerce online shops hosted on the WordPress.com, and admins who host a WordPress installation on their own servers will have to manually update the WooCommerce payments plugin. GitHub updates security protocol for operations over SSH. GitHub, the repository hosting service, has announced that it has replaced its existing RSA SSH host key with a new one as a precautionary measure. This move comes after the key was momentarily exposed in the public repository. GitHub acted quickly to contain the exposure and replace the key to protect users' Git operation over SSH, especially from potential threat actors attempting to impersonate GitHub or eavesdrop on their actions. However, the company clarified that the change was not a result of compromise of GitHub system or customer information, but rather than an inadvertent publishing of private information. GitHub's CSO, Mike Hanley, stated that the exposed key was not abused, and the company took this action out of an abundance of caution. SSH host keys are used to authenticate the server and protect communication between the client and the server. The change only impacts Git operations over SSH using RSA, while web traffic to github.com and HTTPS GitHub operations are not affected. This replacement comes after the theft of 3 digital certificates used for GitHub's desktop and Atom applications a couple of months ago. General Bytes Bitcoin ATMs hacked to steal funds. A leading provider of Bitcoin ATMs has revealed that it was the victim of a zero-day vulnerability attack last weekend. The provider, General Bytes, is urging all of its clients to upgrade their system immediately to prevent any further loss of funds. The vulnerability was found in the master service interface that Bitcoin ATMs use to upload videos to the server. The attacker was able to exploit this vulnerability to upload their own application directly to the application server used by the admin interface. This allowed them to perform a range of actions, including accessing the database, reading and decrypting API keys used to access funds in hot wallets and exchanges, sending funds from hot wallets, downloading username and password hashes, and switching off two-factor authentication. They were also able to access terminal event logs and scan for any instances where customers scanned private keys at the ATM. General Bytes has recommended that any ATM operator immediately patch their cache software and reset passwords and generate new API keys or invalidate the old ones. They are also advising operators to keep their cache behind a firewall and VPN and connect terminals via VPN. It is important to note that General Bytes missed this zero-day bug despite claiming to have conducted multiple security audits since 2021. As a result of this attack, General Bytes is shutting down its cloud service and recommending that ATM operators install their standalone server. And the General Bytes support will provide help to migrate data from the GB cloud to the new server. SharePoint phishing scam targets 1,600 across US Europe. Cybercriminals are using new phishing scam that relies on legitimate servers from Microsoft's collaborative platform SharePoint to steal email account credentials. According to Kaspersky's security researchers, this scam has been targeted at least 1,600 individuals across Europe, the US, and other countries using a native notification mechanism. The phishing scam begins with the victim receiving a standalone notification about someone sharing a file on SharePoint. This notification looks like a real one, and so it's unlikely to arouse suspicion. When the victim clicks on the link, they are directed to a genuine SharePoint server hosting a OneNote file that includes another link, which is malicious. This link leads to a phishing site that mimics the OneDrive login page and steals credentials for Yahoo, AOL, Outlook, Office 365, or other email services. This is not the first time that SharePoint-based phishing has been used, but the attack methodology is new. The attackers hide the phishing link on a SharePoint server and then distribute it via the platform's notification feature. They do this by gaining access to someone's SharePoint server and uploading the file with the link, adding a list of emails to share with. To protect against this phishing campaign, Kaspersky recommends regular security awareness training for employees. This discovery comes after Menlo security researchers found a threat actor using OneNote to deliver malware. NCSC launches 2 new tools for small businesses. The National Cybersecurity Agency in the UK has launched 2 new services to help small organizations and individuals enhance their cyber risk management. First up is the Cyber Action Plan, a free questionnaire that delivers a personalized security to-do list for your business. Based on your answers, the NCSC will provide a list of recommendations to improve your security measures. The second service, Check Your Cybersecurity, can be accessed through the action plan and helps non-technical employees identify and fix a small range of security issues within their organization. It's a simple online check to identify common vulnerabilities in public-facing IT systems like web browser IP addresses, websites, and email inboxes. These new services from the NCSC are a part of their Cyber Aware campaign and are much needed. A government report from last year revealed that nearly 2/5 of the small businesses in the UK have suffered a cyber incident over the previous 12 months. And while small businesses make up over 99% of the country's 5.5 million companies, only 30% of the businesses are aware of the Cyber Aware campaign and the resources they could be utilizing. NCSC CEO Lindy Cameron says, "Small businesses are the backbone of the UK, but we know that the cyber criminals continue to view them as targets. That's why the NCSC has created the Cyber Action Plan and Check Your Cyber Security to help them boost their online defenses in a matter of minutes." So if you are a small business owner in the UK, take advantage of these free services today and keep your organization on track. So that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Cyber News Update. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with the latest developments in the world of online security. And as always, stay safe and stay secure.